to discuss about first one is about all about declaration of what two-dimensional arrays. Second one is about okay, initialization. Okay, initialization of what two-dimensional arrays. Third one is what, okay, reading. How do you take the elements from the user? Okay, reading elements into two-dimensional arrays. Okay, next fourth one now, printing out what, sorry, printing out what your yeah, printing okay, a two-dimensional array. Okay, so after that one now, we are going to discuss some of the problem statements regarding two-dimensional arrays, right? So these are the four important things that we need to discuss. Okay, introduction, those who have not learned before or who did not listen before. Okay, who did not listen before, you can okay, sorry, you can now learn about that one. Still only 50 students, that is 49 students. I don't know why. I'm not going to repeat. Again, once class starts, if you're asking me to repeat, I won't repeat. Again, intimate your friends to join faster. Okay, within a minute, we shall start. Within a minute, we shall start. Okay. I shall close the attendance within a 1 minute. Right. Anyways, declaration. Okay, declaration of what one-dimensional array. How did we declare a one-dimensional array, ma? Anyone respond? How did we declare one-dimensional array? Anyone? See, let it
Data
be
type and
Data type,
variable name.
very good.
data,
Okay, so it is what data type. Okay, and next,
array
you have,
name,
yeah, array name and
Size.
what? And
square
what's
bracket,
size? Okay.
font.
Very good. Okay, that is what size of the array. That was a declaration of what one-dimensional array. Okay. Similarly, when I say two-dimensional array, this is what declaration of what one-dimensional array. Similarly, when you are declaring a two-dimensional array, okay, the same syntax hold, but in place of what size, okay, you have subscript one, okay, subscript one and subscript two, or yeah, subscript one and what you have what subscript two. Okay, so can someone give me the example? Almost 99 people, 99% of the students, we have got this particular thing in our okay, mid one itself. We have got this one in our mid one itself. 99% of the students in set 1 it is given as 2 mark question, and in set 2 it is given as 3 mark question. 99 of the students, 99% of the student made it wrong. Okay, written it wrong. This just the syntaxes. So how example is what int, okay, array name a, so it is what 50 and what 50. Okay, 50 and what 50. So that is what the example of what two-dimensional array. I'm just revising it because we have dealt this before your we have dealt this before your this particular thing mid exams. So I'm just revising the topics of what I learned. So that is what the declaration of what um, two-dimensional array. Now, one major point to be noted. One major point to be noted. If the subscript one value is what six, sorry, if the subscript one value is what 3, okay, and sorry, yeah, the subscript value is what 3, one value is what 3, and subscript value 2 is what okay 5. Just let me, I think I've pressed the insert button. Yeah. Now, total number of elements, can someone tell me?
15.
Very good. It is what? M into N, that is what? 3 into 5. Total number of elements. Okay. Total number of elements is what? Okay. 15 elements, right? Now, we shall get to the second point. We shall get to the second point. I'll just go a little bit faster because this discussion is already over. Initialization. Okay, we'll get to the second point. Okay, which is what initialization. What when we discussed about a one-dimensional array, I've mentioned one important point regarding what initialization. What is the general meaning? Okay, when you say initialization, what is the general meaning of initialization? What is the general meaning of initialization? I have 56 or 55 students in the class, and nobody is responding. I know it's raining outside. Very good. 37, please.
Initial, sir, when starting.
Yeah, means what?
Uh,
Starting. That means during the declaration itself, if you assign values, that is what called as initialization, right? How did we initialize a one-dimensional array? Can you recall and tell me? How did we initialize a one-dimensional array? Can you recall and
A
tell
of
me?
5 is equals to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5.
Yes, A of 5 is what? Okay, we have declared, and then open braces. Okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. This is how we have initialized that what one-dimensional array. Now we shall talk about initializing what a two-dimensional array. Okay, initialization of two-dimensional array. How are you going to do that? Okay, same thing. Okay, we are going to initialize a two-dimensional array using Yeah, thank you for staying. I'm audible now.
sir.
Hello? Yeah, fine. Okay. What
Yes,
was?
sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I had a power cut here, so right now my Wi-Fi is gone. Right, I'm just connected to the other network right now. Fine. Let me present the screen. Yet. Yep. Okay. Two-dimensional array. So how do you initialize a two-dimensional array? I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, yes.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Right? Two-dimensional array, same thing, int a of what, 5, okay, or let me say 3, and next second is what, 2, okay, second is what, 2. How am I going to initialize? What does this say? I have 3 rows, okay, and each row I'm having 2 elements, and each row I'm having what? 2 elements. So how am I going to write this down? Okay, right. Okay, this is what I do. I also have a PPT, but I think this is what if I type and if I tell you, it is very good for you, right? So 3 rows. How am I going to do? Yes, 1 row, second row, and what third row. Okay, and third row, right? Now in each row, how many elements do I have? Two elements, right? So total, how many elements for this particular array can we have, ma? How many elements can we have for this particular array? One, two. Please respond. In total, if I'm declaration,
Six.
excellent. Okay, it is what six, three and four. Yeah, 3 and 4, right? And next, the thing is what 5, 6. Okay, next one is what 5, 6. So 3 into 2 is what 6, right? So that is how you would initialize a two-dimensional array. Otherwise, like we have initialized our what one-dimensional array, just to declare it. Okay, just to declare it, and without the internal braces that you have, you can directly write away in this manner: 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5, comma 6. You can directly write away in this manner, right? And a semicolon. And remember, while we are discussing our one-dimensional array, I've given you another way of initialization. Okay, I have given you another way of initialization. Can you recall that second way of initialization of one-dimensional array? Can you recall that? Anyone in the
Without
class?
defining size of the array.
Excellent. Without mentioning the size of the array. In the A of, right, without mentioning, I said like, it would be what, 10, comma, 20, comma, 30, comma, 40, comma, 50, right? So that is how we have done it, right? And then semicolon, of course, semicolons at each statement. Automatically, the compiler would learn that, okay? The compiler would learn that the size of the array here is what? 5. The size of the array is what 5, right? Now, okay, size of the array is what 5. Okay, that is what one more important point that you have. Now, how can you apply, okay, the second way of initialization of what two-dimensional array, right? Without mentioning. Okay, can I do it in this way? I will have the same thing. I'll have the same thing written. Okay, this is how, right? Can I do this particular thing 2 and what 3? Can I do it in this particular manner? Is it possible? Is it possible?
No.
No, right? So what is the first? Okay, someone said no. Very good, Swarup. Okay, fine. Uh, so why isn't it possible? And what is the point that you have to remember? And what is the point that you have to remember when you are declaring, when you are initializing a two-dimensional array, and when you don't want to specify that size of the array? Okay, the first subscript may be empty, but the second subscript should not be empty. Okay, the second subscript should not be empty. For example, if I say 4, okay, so how it is going to be there, ma? How many number of elements can be accommodated? How many number of elements can be see basically why callers must be initialized. Very good, Harishwar. Okay, 4. How many elements? How can I write that particular thing? How do I initialize that one? We are talking about second way of initialization of a two-dimensional array. Second way of initialization of a two-dimensional array. Okay, and first one you don't need to specify the size. We need not, it's your choice. Okay, we can leave the subscript 1 empty, but you have to specify the number of columns. Okay, how many elements can I write here? Can it be like this? Okay, I'll write it like this. It says that, okay, uh, the number of columns would be 1, 2, 3, and what 4. Okay, yes or no? Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes, very
Yes,
good.
sir.
Right? Okay. Now, I would like to have you give me the answer for a question. Why the columns has to be mentioned? Okay, subscript 2. You shouldn't say columns here. That's your matrices terminology. That's your matrices terminology. Why the subscript 2 have to be there? For sure, and subscript 1 need not be there, and subscript 1 need not be there.
With
That's the
subscript 2, we
question.
can understand how many subscript ones we need.
Okay, you're partially right. Yes. Okay. Now I'll enter. I'll give you another installation. Tell me whether that is valid or not. The same thing. Okay. The same thing. Okay. The same thing wherein I will write this one, and you guys have to tell me whether it is a valid one or not. One. Okay. Sorry. One here. It's not semicolon. It's what comma there. Not nothing is there. Right. Okay. One, two, okay, three, comma, and what four. Can I do this way? Can I do this way? Is it valid?
No, sir.
Initialization. No. Why?
No.
Is this valid or not? That's my question.
No, no.
But
No, sir.
why is it no? Why
Because
is it
in
no?
each one four terms will be there, sir. A of second subscript లో 4 ఉందంటే each size 4 ఉండాలి సార్ బట్ in each one only one there.
Sir, it is valid.
Why it is valid?
If nothing is there, it will consider to be 0.
Excellent. Okay, if nothing is there, it is considered to be what? Zeros. But the row number, okay, that means I'm specifying. If I say 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm specifying like, the row number is what? 4. Okay, if I don't initialize to anything, it will be considered as what? Zeros. Okay, so if in order to make more sure, what you do is now after this session or tomorrow, compile it. Okay, you have your Dev C++ software, right? Okay, write a program there by with this installation, and you're going to print out that particular elements. Tell me whether you have got the error or not. So that's the task given to you, right? Of course, it is valid, like someone said, rule number 30 said, I suppose. Okay, lab. Okay, you will get the information by today evening or today night. Most probably you won't have class tomorrow. I mean, a physical class. You don't have physical class tomorrow. But if it is there, if you have college, you will be having your lab. You will be having your what lab? Okay. But be prepared for your lab. Don't say that, sir, we are intimated lately kind of thing. All the programs that are needed to be discussed are discussed 2.5 weeks back. And yesterday also I have mentioned what to be prepared for the lab. So the task for you is to prepare for all those programs and come prepared for the lab. Okay, right. If college is there, you have to come. You have to do the lab. Those who don't come to the college, even though the college is there, we have a separate treatment for that, special treatment for that. Fine. Okay, that is what about initialization. Arrays, one-dimensional arrays. Yes. One-dimensional arrays. Yes. Yes, Ananya. Okay. One-dimensional arrays. Right. Now we'll get to the third important point, which is what? Yeah, which is what? Reading the elements into one-dimensional array. Reading the elements into what? One-dimensional array. When I say reading the elements into one-dimensional array, rule number, two-dimensional array, rule number 11, rule number 11, please respond. Please speak out. 11, please speak out. Is your mic working? Microphone working? Issue with your laptop? Fine. Anyways, I have opened the chat window. How did we read the elements? Third important point. How did we read the elements into one-dimensional array? How did we do that? How did we do that? You may type your answer, okay, and send me the answer in the chat box. Excellent. For I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. What was the function that we used, ma? What was the function that we have used? What was the function that we have used? Dhruv. Good. Okay, that is how we have read. I'm seeing your answer in the chat box. Very good. Okay. Similarly, because we have one subscript there, we have used one loop there. Okay. Now to read the elements into two-dimensional arrays. Okay. To read the elements into what two-dimensional arrays? How are we going to read the elements into what two-dimensional arrays? Okay. How many subscripts are there? For example, if our array is what A. Okay. For example, 5 and what 5. Okay, 5 and what 5. Okay, total 25 elements will be there. Our array is declared as what A of 5. So what you are going to do, you are going to read 25 elements. Okay, because we have two subscript, we are going to use the concept of what is the concept that you are going to use to read a two-dimensional array? Anyone may answer. It's not only to Dhruv.
ఫర్ లూప్ లో ఇంకో ఫర్ లూప్ సార్ ఐజేకి తీసుకోవాలి మనం.
Very good. Okay. So it is what I comma j, two counter variables will be taken. So it is what concept called as nested loops. Iteration, very good. Two loops are required. Okay, very good. Okay, nested loops. How are you going to do? For I equals to 0, okay, for I equals to 0, I less than or equal to I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus. Okay, so where n is the number of the value of what your first subscript. Okay, I less than n, I plus plus. For j equals to 0, j less than m, j plus plus. For j equals to 0, j less than m, j plus plus. Okay. Scanf percentile b, sorry, percentile b, okay, and what a of ampersand a of I, a of I j, a of I j, percentile d ampersand a of I j. So that is how you read the elements. Good, good. Okay. Scan of yeah. Percentile d ampersand a of ij. Right. That is how you are going to root. Close the inner loop and what close the outer loop and what close the outer loop. Right. Next, how are you going to print it out? How are you going to print it out? Fourth important point. Right. How are you going to print the two-dimensional array? How are you going to print it out? Rule number 26. Rule number 26, please.
Sir,
Yeah, how are you going to print it out? How are you going to print a two-dimensional array? You have the syntax for reading the elements, okay, in a two-dimensional array. How are you going to print it out?
printer.
Direct printf. Direct printf. ఎట్లా చేస్తాము? How are you going to read the print the elements in the two-dimensional array?
For I equal to 0, I less than n, I
Very
plus
good.
plus.
For I equals to 0,
I
I
less
less
than
than n, I plus
n,
plus,
inner loop
plus
for
plus.
equal to
In the inside the for loop, very good. For j
for j
equals to
equal to
0,
0,
j less than m, j plus
j
plus.
plus.
right?
Printf percentage d.
Printf percentile d, okay, comma, ampersand a of ij, okay, a of ij, very good, okay, right? Next,
సార్ యాంపర్సెంట్ రాదనుకుంటా కదా.
సార్ printf లో అడ్రసింగ్ రాస్తారు. అడ్రసింగ్
మీరు రాస్తున్నారు అందుకనే పెట్టాల్సి వచ్చింది. వస్తుందా ఆన్సర్?
రాస్తారు.
రాదు సార్ యాంపర్సెంట్ రాదు.
ఓన్లీ
మరి
స్కాన్
ఎందుకు రాశారు?
చేసినప్పుడు అడ్రసింగ్ వస్తుంది.
మరి ఎందుకు రాశారు ఫస్ట్ మిడ్లో? Right, percentile is a of what? Ij. So that is how you would print out the elements, two-dimensional arrays, right? So visualization will take part of the care in the next class, but now we are going to we'll switch to Dev C++ and we'll talk about how to read a one-dimensional, two-dimensional array, read the elements into two-dimensional array and print those elements in the matrix form. Okay, matrix form. When you talk about two-dimensional arrays, mostly questions they ask is like, printing the array in the matrix form. Although you write the correct code, but the printing, presentation logic also you have to learn. So that is why I will switch to what Dev C++. I will switch to what Dev C++. Now we'll write a program wherein control n. Okay, so what's program? To read and print a two-dimensional array. Okay, so who is going to tell me that? Read and print a two-dimensional array. Tondaraga, we are running out of time.
int a of 50, 50, 50.
Yeah, who is answering me?
52.
Peru.
Bhanuprasad sir.
Right, fine. Okay, hash include stdio.h and read and print a two-dimensional array in matrix form. Okay, hash include stdio.h. After that, we have to open your main
Void
function.
main sir.
Yeah, main, void main, and next int a of what?
50,
50. Yes, 50 comma 50. Very good. Other one is saying okay, 50 comma 50. Next
I comma j comma n comma m
I comma j comma m
M comma
comma n. Any other variables needed?
no sir.
Right. Very good. Next, printf. Enter the number of rows. Just okay. Enter the number of rows. Semicolon. Scanf. Okay. Percentile d.
Ampersand
Ampersand
n
n. Okay. Fine. Next.
semicolon printf
Next.
same repeat sir,
Printf.
instead of rows columns and ampersand m.
Yeah.
From column, from the
M.
Very good. Next.
For I is equals to
equal to 0,
I equals to
I equal to 0, I
I less than n,
I plus plus,
I plus plus,
enter the loop.
open bracket,
For j is equal to 0, j less than n, j plus
J
plus,
less than M, J plus plus.
good. You're good. You're responding good. Right. Next. Scanf.
printf
Percentile D, ampersand A of I
I of j.
Percentile d. Ampersand a
Ampersand
of
I of j.
Right.
Semicolon.
Now before this one, we'll have a prompt message to be printed. enter percentile D elements to enter percentile D elements, okay,
With their
into
array.
array A, okay, right, into array A, where percentile D is the value of n elements, sir.
N into M.
Very good. N into what? M, right? So that is how, just a prompt message. Next, you are going to print out. Next, we are going to what? Print out. Okay, this is
So
what scanning.
semicolon.
Okay, this is
Scanf
what
semicolon.
scanning. Uh, Reading elements into two-dimensional array. Reading elements into what? Two-dimensional array. Here, I'm going to what? Print. Elements of array A are the backslash n. We'll do that. Right? Let us see whether we'll be getting the answer or not. Control yes. 2D array, 2D array dot C. Okay. Compile it and run it. Yeah, this is what your answer. Enter the number of rows, say 5, columns, say 5. So enter 25 elements into an array. So I'll say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, okay, 70, 80, 90, 100, 102, 103, 104. I go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12, 30. Oh, sorry. Went off. Again, I will execute again. I think it went off. Three has been printed. Unnecessary. Compile and execute. 3 rows, 2 columns. Enter 6 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what? 6. Okay. Did we get our output? Did we get our output? Yes or no? Did we get our output?
No.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, but not in the correct
Of
way.
course,
No,
yes.
no, 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 no.
Not in matrix
We
form.
got our output, but not in what? Matrix form. Right? So what we have to do? So first,
Printf backslash n at a printing statement.
1 minute. Okay. So what we are going to do first, you have to have a space. See, for example, in the first row between first element and the second element, we have to have a space. So for that reason, here in this particular printf, I will be giving either 2 spaces or we can use percentile 2D. Okay, and how can we know? Okay, first row has been completed. How can we know the first row has been completed?
One cycle of jth loop is completed, then one row is
Very good.
completed.
So one time if your jth loop is completed, then you can say that one row is completed. We have seen this phenomena, or we have learned this particular phenomena while we were talking about
Patterns.
patterns. Excellent, right? So now after the jth loop is over, have a printf backslash n so that the next row elements will be printed in the next manner, in the next row, right? We'll save that one, and I will compile and I'll execute. So 3 and what 2. Okay, enter 6 elements into array. Okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and what 60. Okay, so write elements into an array. Did we get our output yet? Did we get our output yet?
Yes, sir, but
No.
But
not
there
in
is a
specific way.
did you have our output? No. So this percentile 2D has to work. Okay, otherwise, okay, otherwise remove it. After that one, you can have spaces, then 3 spaces, then it will work. 2D has to work actually, why it's not working. Okay, 2 and 3, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and what 60. So now it's working 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Also 2D will work. I don't know why it is not working here, but that is what your format. So CR of the class, 1 minute. This is what your program, and this is what your output. And here is your number of elements. Sorry, is that? Yes. CR, can you take us 1 minute? Yeah, can you take a screenshot of this man and send me? Put it in our group. They're asking for proofs. Yeah, done, right? Um, yeah, put it in the group. Fine, done, good. I think it is better to take the snapshot now, ma. Can someone take a snapshot again and put? Yeah, thank you. Now, having said that one, that's a basic program of your two-dimensional arrays. So what you're going to do for tomorrow's class is that, okay, so I've already notified you, like, the way of presenting or the way of teaching will change the second mid by seeing your performance in your mid one. So tomorrow, while coming to the class, you have to, everyone, I don't know whom I'll ask, okay, addition of matrices, second one, okay, subtraction of matrices, subtraction of matrices. Otherwise, I do have, I think I've given for, okay. Pakan, 1 minute. So this is what the programs that you're supposed to learn and come tomorrow. I'll be asking every one of you. I'll be asking every one of you. So these are the programs that you have to learn, practice based upon the information that I have given today. All these programs, 7 programs, you have to learn and come to for the tomorrow's class. Yes, taken a snapshot. What's the problem? Okay, right. Did you take the snapshot of the programs? Yeah. Otherwise, I'll copy here and I will paste it here. Right. You have to learn, and I am going to ask each one of you. Right. Now, as we have 3 more minutes left over for the class, what am I going to do is I'm going to show your mid marks. So assignment 5 is given. That doesn't mean that everyone have written it. I'll make every one of you to write. Those who have not submitted the assignment, okay, you have to submit when you come to the college. There is no other go. Okay. Is it visible? Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
It's so visible.
Yeah, fine. Just to check this descriptive one now, not the total marks, just the descriptive one. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And anyone of you, do you think you may get more than this one? Rule number and what this one? Anyone is having doubts? Do you think anyone of you will be getting better than this one?
No, sir.
Any doubt? Chepdana 60, 52. Someone is raising their hand.
16, sir.
16. Yes, ma'am.
సార్ పేపర్స్ ఇస్తారా సార్ వచ్చాక?
Stan,
ఓకే.
who is this 16?
రిషిత్ సార్.
రిషిత్. పొద్దునే అనుకున్నా నేను. ఎలా రాశారు మీరు ఎగ్జామ్? How did you write your exam? Right. Anyways, those are your marks. Anyone has any other doubt? Yeah. Just check one more time. Nobody got 25. 24.5 is the last, I suppose. Only the descriptive ones. And in the descriptive, those who have got less than 18, no, less than 15, have to write both set number 1 and set number 2 times and submit. There is no other go. In the descriptive, those who have got less than 15. And from 16 to 20, you have to answer both the sets. Set 1 and set 2 one time. And those who have got 20 from 21 to 25, you have to answer the set which is not in the exam. For example, if you have got set number 1, okay, you have to answer set number 2 one time. So these are the marks. I just put this particular marks just by sleeping. నిద్రపోతూ దిద్దా కళ్ళు మూసుకొని దిద్దితే ఈ మార్కులు వచ్చినాయి అన్నమాట. That's your performance. And we'll have a mechanism like to improve the scores as well. Fine. I think we have to note down the attendance.